The Castillo was instrumental in Spanish life in St. Augustine. Spanish soldiers worked at the Castillo in shifts, like modern-day firefighters, spending 1 or 2 days at work and then going home to their families in town until their next shift.
This is an example of what their sleeping quarters look like. Notice how they only have a few beds. What do you think the other soldiers on shift were doing? Let's compare the Spanish bunk room to the British bunk room.
Unlike the Spanish, the British had many soldiers living in the fort for long periods of time. Because the Castillo was not built to house that many people, they had to make some modifications. The British added second floors to a lot of the castmates in the Castillo. They used the second floor for housing for their soldiers.
This is an example of what kind of furniture the British may have had in their bunk rooms. There's only one bed here, but there would have been multiple beds in rows during the British occupation. Each bed slept 4 to 6 soldiers. They slept head to foot because they were afraid of catching diseases from each other's breath in their sleep.
Think about some of the differences between both the look and necessity for bunk rooms during the Spanish and British periods.
In addition to being the first line of defense, the Castillo was also where the residents of St. Augustine kept their food stores.
The residents didn't know how to grow food or what plants would grow in Florida, so they depended on shipments of beans, rice, and corn for survival.
Many of the casements in the Castillo were used for storage. Behind us is an example of what one of the storerooms may have looked like. The barrels would have been filled with dried beans, rice, and corn so that the Spanish could rehydrate and eat.
St. Augustine was reliant on such food storage. The Castillo was an integral part of not only the city's defense, but their life resources.